Hey guys, in this video I want to share with you a comparison between the benefits and the differences of building an online business versus the 9 to 5 grind. So keep watching until the end of the video, and I'm going to be sharing with you the benefits of why you should be building an online business and why you should be looking to get out of your day job if you really want to grow as an individual and you want to start earning more money that could potentially change your outcomes and your life. Also, if you are looking for proven training and a platform that can actually teach you the steps on how to actually build an online business from scratch, then make sure to check out the first link in the description below to get started. So what are the differences between building an online business versus the 9 to 5 grind? Well, the whole concept of behind this video is that I currently have myself been going through this process when I first started out online, and I just want to even just share my insights and experiences on the subject as well, because I know a lot of you that are coming on to the likes of YouTube and you're going on to blogs, you're trying to figure out ways of how you can make money online and potentially either earn a side income or eventually try and work on it to a point where you want it to lead into a full-time job or a full-time income. But a lot of people have a very skewed concept of the reality of what it actually takes to build an online business, and even just the frame of mind a lot of people actually have with regards to a day job, and the reality that they don't realise that's possible outside of their day-to-day routines. Because quite honestly, from the moment we're actually born and from the moment we go to school and when we get older, we're always taught that from a very young age that if we don't follow the rules that are set in place for us, that we will never get anywhere in life. That if we fail an exam, that we're an instant failure and that we'll never actually see success and we'll never really get anywhere. We'll always be kind of held back. Even when you go to school, and don't get me wrong, I have nothing wrong against going to school, because obviously we do need to learn the essentials. You need to be able to learn to read and write. You do need to learn like mathematics and be able to add and subtract. But the truth is, even regardless of all those skills that you do learn in school, they don't teach you the actual practical steps that you actually need, especially even when you get older and you start going into like secondary school and even further into college. They will teach you the knowledge and give you the skills that you need, but they don't teach you the practical steps of how to implement it into the real world. And we are always taught that when we get to a certain point, if we say reach 16 or 18 years of age, that we're just told by our parents, because they've gone through the same process themselves and they were told by their parents and before them and so forth. It is a vicious circle. We're pretty much told to just go out and get a job, that just work for the rest of your life. But we're not told that we can actually create something for ourselves, that we can actually take control of our own lives. We're always told that we can't, that we have to do what we're told and just fall in line like a soldier. I know it may seem a bit controversial, but that's just the reality of what we have to deal with on a daily basis. For those of us that actually do understand this, or that actually are willing to have an open mind to understand this, will actually see the benefits in this in the long run. But those of you who are still in that 9 to 5 mindset, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to actually grasp the concept that you can have full control over your life, that you don't have to rely on people to actually teach you or tell you what to do. So my main reasons behind making this video is because I myself struggled with this, and I went through the same concepts and processes, and I'm still going through that even as we speak, as we're recording this video. Because like you, I was brought up with the idea that once I hit a certain age, I have to go out and literally just go and work. And that was fine, but I realised very quickly that the working life, working for somebody else, isn't all it's cracked up to be. Yes, you may find an odd job every now and then where you actually do enjoy it and you do like the company of the people that you're around, but eventually you'll get to a point where you'll work at it for a couple of years and you will start to question things, and you will start to think to yourself, is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? Is this how my life is actually going to go? And I know myself, when I was even at secondary school, I'll admit I was quiet. I wasn't really the most outgoing person in the classroom. I always kept my head down. I done my work. Now I will admit I wasn't exactly the brightest in the class, but when I look back, I think it was genuinely because I had no interest in the subjects. The subjects that were being taught in school, I personally, they didn't appeal to me at all. But when I done something, or worked on something that I was really into, I excelled at it. And that's the differences, because I even do remember like an old teacher of mine actually saying, Peter's quiet but he does have loads of ability and he will achieve great things. And at the time I couldn't see it, but when I look back at it now, he was actually telling the truth, because when I look at what I'm able to do now and what I'm potentially doing now, it is actually working at there is real possibility behind it. And the truth is, any of us can do this. I'm doing this currently at the minute, and I know that anybody can actually do this if they're willing to open up their mind and actually just go after what they want. So this is where people actually do have a conflict of interest. I know myself, when I was working, the reality is I always knew that I wanted to do something else. Working for somebody else never really kind of suited me that much. I'll be honest, actually, a lot of times I found it hard to actually keep a job because I didn't fit in with the routines of everything else that was going on, even though I done my work, but it didn't appeal to me. But what I'm doing now appeals to me. I work on it every single day. I get up first thing in the morning and I just work at it, and I don't even think about it because I really enjoy what I'm doing. And that's the benefits of this whole online space. It gives you that opportunity to create a business or create some sort of project around something that you love and that you're truly passionate about, and have the potential to make money out of it. Like, who would not want to do this? That's the big question. So when you look at the ideas behind building an online business, there are a lot of concepts online. There is also a lot of noise online with regards to the information that is provided. On one end, you actually have people that are actually truthful and that actually want to help people, but then at the other end of the spectrum, you've also got a lot of people that use that as an opportunity for the likes of people like ourselves, that when we're starting out and when we do want to get out of the 9-to-5 grind, and we have become self-aware and we realise that we can do so much more. The problem we have is we get caught in that loop of shiny object syndrome, or we fall for like scams or con artists that try to rip us off because we want to trust someone to actually help us to achieve the results that we need to achieve. Because the main thing about building a business online, it does take a lot of work, but you also need to understand that in order for you to actually see success, there's no point in trying to go at it alone and just thinking that you can make it work. It technically is pretty much the same as doing a 9-to-5 job. You're going in 9 in the morning till 5 every evening. You're rinsing and repeating every day, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But the difference is, with an online business, yes, you do have to rinse and repeat, but the reality is you have the potential to grow. In a 9-to-5 job, you have very little, if not any, room to grow. You may get an odd promotion and you may get a slight wage increase, but that's as far as you'll go. You'll never really reach the heights of success. Some people can do that within the job or the corporation that they're in, but the problem is that they're always assigned to someone else's time. Their time is not their own. They're always working for somebody else. They're working for the company. They're working for this person. They're working for that person. When you're building an online business, you're working for yourself. The other side of it as well is, when you're starting an online business, you potentially don't have any money coming in. You actually will have more money going out than you will have actually coming in, because in order for you to build a business, yes, there are loads of processes online that you can use and free traffic sources to actually help you get started. You can start a YouTube channel. I do recommend this because, again, I've done this myself and I do highlight this in a lot of videos, that it is one of the best platforms out there really to get started. You can set up a website. There are free versions of website builders out there that you can use to get started, just to get your feet wet and understand the concepts of what it takes to build a website. There are paid versions as well, but that's something that you can look into when you feel more comfortable, when you realise that you're ready to actually take it to the next level. But then on the other side of it, with building a business, you do have money going out more than what's actually coming in. So a lot of people are reluctant to leave the 9-to-5 job because it's safe. They have a set income every week. But the reality that they don't realise is, yes, they're working and they're getting a wage every week, but you have to look at it from the bigger perspective. You spend 2 or 3 years building and developing and growing your online business and your brand. That work that you put in now and work consistently on it for that period of time could potentially yield you results way more than 10 years of working in a 9-to-5 job ever could. A lot of people are seeing it. I see it every day. There's people that I know myself personally that are doing it currently, and even myself included, are starting to make money. And there's times that you can make way more through a couple of affiliate promotions on like a course or a video that you promote. than you would with a weekly wage. It's quite insane, I know, but it's true and it's possible. People are doing it all the time. If you look at blog websites, if you look at YouTube channels with millions of subscribers, if you look at Instagram, TikTok, you see the amount of followers that are on those platforms, and those people are making insane amounts of money because they focus on one individual thing or one concept, one niche for their online space, and they just go at it, and they pretty much are the masters of their craft because they're willing to work on it every day, because they're not willing to settle for the 9 to 5 lifestyle. Because even though yes, you do have a set wage, the problem is that you're limited by not only your time, but you're limited by the amount of money that you can earn. For example, an average wage that you would get, say here in Ireland, the minimum wage, whatever it is, it's about under 10 euros an hour. So you work that out over 40 hours a week, that's about 400, maybe 500 euros. Now, it's a lot of money to some people, I get that, and I do appreciate that because I've been in that situation myself. But it's not a lot under the greater concern of things. When potentially you're limited by your time, you have to work for someone else for a set wage, and you never really have that potential to grow. And if you step out of line, you're let go from your job. You're not really given an exact reason why. You're just let go, or you could be made redundant at any time. You're always limited. They don't appreciate you as a person, don't appreciate your time. All they want to know is that you can actually do the job and do it well. But if you can't, they just let you go and you lose everything. Even with an online business, it takes a while to actually build up, and it can take quite a while to see results. There is pros and cons with both. On one hand, you could go all in and try and build an online business and try to build it, but yet not see results for 6 to 12 months. Or on the other hand, you could go and work on a 9 to 5 job for 6 months, but then be let go and then have nothing and have no money coming in. So either way, there's pros and cons with each. But like I said, with a 9 to 5 job, you have to go in at a set time. Your time and your energy is ruled by somebody else. If you don't play ball, you will be let go from your job, or you'll get decreased wages, or they won't actually allow you to actually move further up the ladder even though you have the potential. As an example of this, on and off before when I started this YouTube channel, I had been trying to do other things online. I've been selling on eBay. I set up my own e-commerce Shopify store. I made a little bit of money on eBay on and off, but not enough to make a full-time living off it. Shopify store, even though I learned a ton of skills, I'll drop a link down in the description to a playlist that I actually have that I made a while ago of it, but I couldn't make it work. I couldn't earn any money from it. But again, it was an experience, and these are the things that you will go through on your online journey. But when I started my YouTube channel, it was very different. Even though I didn't see results straight away, but I could see progress. I could still see things starting to take shape way more than I ever did with anything I'd ever done. Now to a point that I actually am making money, and times I actually do make quite good money from it. And this is the thing, this is the consistency behind actually working for something that feels right for you. Something that you know you can help others with, and that you can provide a service. But not only that, it's something in line with you, or who you are as a person, and something that you can actually benefit from in the long term as well. Because really, who doesn't want to get paid for doing something they enjoy? Because if you're doing something that you enjoy, it no longer becomes work, because you're going to do it regardless. You don't even think about it anymore. Whereas if you're going into a daily job, a 9 to 5 job for somebody else, you don't want to be there. You're getting up every morning, you're struggling to get out of bed, you're kicking yourself to get into the car to start it every day, to get to work on time. And then if you're late, you get in serious trouble, you get warnings, and you'll be threatened to be sacked. All for someone that doesn't even know your first name and truly does not care about who you are as a person and what you can actually offer. So if you decide to create an online business, you have the potential to reach far greater audiences. You can actually appeal to a lot of your own potential and to provide as much value to a lot more people than you ever could in a 9 to 5 job. Plus you're doing something that you really enjoy. And the thing is, building an online business doesn't actually have to be exactly like, say, what I'm doing here, or like with the likes of Make Money Online or affiliate marketing and online business. You can create a business pretty much online out of anything that you have a passion about, whether that's DIY, whether woodwork, engineering. You could create online courses. You could even do gaming videos, doing live streams, or playing like video games, like retro games, modern games, doing game reviews, doing automotive stuff, showing people how to fix cars, how to restore cars, how to detail cars, and you can make a business out of it. All you need to do is find a platform that sits well with you, that you know you can get the most out of, but now that you're comfortable in using, like in this instance YouTube on my channel, and actually creating content and actually just doing what you know is best. you know that you're going to provide value, and not only that, you're enjoying the process along the way. And if people like you and they like what you're doing, they will follow you, they will subscribe to you, they will actually buy stuff from you that you recommend, and hence affiliate marketing, where you learn commissions. Or you can set up like other like sites like Patreon, where people can follow you and subscribe to you, and they get benefits and perks based off certain privileges and so forth. So you can do that as well. There's so many options online. Whereas if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you're just stuck doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, with very little results, very little even thanks for the work that you do. You clock in, you clock out, nobody says thank you, nobody really appreciates you, and then you're expected to come back in the next day and do it all over again. The second you make a mistake, you're pretty much gone. Now, I get it, we're living in an age now where we have the potential to actually be able to start up an online business, and we can all do it for as little as $100 per month, which is actually insane compared to the price of creating a physical business, which could cost up to tens, thousands, even hundreds of thousands before you've even actually gotten started or you've even sold your first item. Creating an online business, you can essentially get started for free. You can create a YouTube channel, you can find stuff to review, like I said, you can create videos on anything. All you need is a camera or a phone, and you can just create a channel and set it up. Even though it's not easy to do for an absolute beginner that has no tech skills. But if you are adamant that you want to create something, believe me, you will actually find a way. If you're determined enough to actually want to get out of the 9-to-5 grind and create something for yourself, you will make it work. So there are loads of different platforms online, like YouTube. Like I said, you can create your own websites. There are also loads of excellent training platforms online that actually will teach you step by step actually how to get involved with setting up your own online business, set up or create online courses. You can sign up to even online courses and learn the skills as well. There's so many different avenues that you can look into, and each of these platforms will actually show you step by step how to utilize a lot of the methods online so that you can actually start and create a business for yourself. They'll show you the right tools you need to actually use, what's the best platforms to get the most engagement. Pretty much the sky's the limit. It really all boils down to your interest levels, what you want to get out of it, and how you can help people. And if you feel that you can do it, because if you feel like you can provide something to the world, online business is your best place. If you're really serious about wanting to grow an online business, then what are you waiting for? Because I know I've gone through that process myself. So it's either stay stuck in the 9-to-5 lifestyle and you'll work all the way until you're nearly 70 years of age, and even by that point you'll work, but you'll have very little to show for it. You'll be saving money for years and years and years. Then you go to your retirement age and then you're too old to actually enjoy it. You can't enjoy it really at all because you're not fit to go anywhere or do anything. And even with the money that you have saved, it's very little. Or you could create an online business and work at it consistently and see it grow over time. It's not an easy thing for a lot of people to do, because a lot of people in the 9-to-5 mindset find it very, very hard to transition from their current lifestyle onto building something for themselves, because they're so used to being led down a path, being told what to do. Technically, when we first start out in life, we're all robots. We just follow the leader and we just follow what we're told. But for those of us that can break free of that and actually go after what we want, this is where it's at. This is where we will actually see success. But you've got to know that you have to put in a lot of upfront work, investment, time, consistency. But the benefit between the two, even with the pros and cons, yes, with working a 9-to-5, you're working for a set low wage for very little thanks. On the other side, with the online business, you do have to work at it for a while until you can actually see results, but the results will be influential and inspiring and literally just crazy when you actually start to see it. But you can work with the two to some degree, because when you're starting out, or if you've already got a job, you can use the money that you get in your weekly job to actually help you buy certain products and services that are recommended in a lot of these training programs that can actually help you. If you want to buy like a camera, if you want to buy equipment, you can save up money from the money you get from your day job to actually purchase items so that you can get started. You can also use that money to sign up to some of these platforms, pay for subscriptions, pay for web hosting, pay for other products and services that can actually help you to move forward. And then when you actually start to see results over time, it may take a while. Some people see results a lot quicker than others, but it varies. There's no guarantees with this. But then at the same time, there's no guarantees with a 9-to-5 job, because even though you go into a job, you may only last 3 to 6 months and then you let go anyway. So it's kind of like a balance. but it's totally up to you. But if you do have a job and you want to build an online business, for the first while, at least the first 6 months or 12 months, I would highly recommend that you use and supplement your income from your day job to actually supplement your programs and your services that you're actually paying for, so that you can build your business. Because at the same time, there is no excuses. I understand a lot of people have responsibilities with their day job, like they have mortgages, they have big bills to pay, they have family, they could have health issues, they could have disability issues, there's any number of reasons. But you can still make a little bit of time, even if you can only work on your online business for half an hour or an hour a day. That's a half an hour more progress than what would actually happen if you were actually sitting and watching a TV series on Netflix. You'll get so much more done. To provide some examples of this, on the screen here I'm going to break down some of the pros and cons between each variant, between working a day-to-day job or trying to create your own online business. So obviously I have pros and cons, so it's just to kind of give you an idea, and I'm sure that a lot of you watching this are aware of this and you currently have these things going on, or that you know of them in your day job, and it's just something to really think about. So obviously when you get started, if you're working a 9-to-5 job, obviously with the cons, you're working for somebody else, which is not ideal, but some people like that kind of thing and others don't really know much else, so they just kind of just go with the flow. Your time is not your own. Again, that's a big gripe of mine, that you don't have control over your own time to be able to do the things you want. You need to be told what to do, so you don't have really the ability or have the confidence in yourself to understand what it is that you want, so you leave it to chance and leave it to somebody else to actually tell you what to do, because you don't want to take on that responsibility. You also only have set wages, so there's very little chance of earning more depending on your position. If you're on a low level, like say a production operative for example, you will just get the bare minimum basic wage in most jobs, or even working in retail, and there's very little room for progression. And even if you do happen to get some sort of a pay increase, it'll be very little. Also with a 9-to-5 job, and especially with the current climate, and even with jobs over the last number of years, because with everything changing, jobs are not secure anymore. You can be let go at any time. I know that firsthand. The number of jobs I've been in where I have been doing the work and they just suddenly decide they just want to let you go. It's kind of like a last in first out kind of method. Because you're the newest recruit, you're also the first one to go. It's because they don't want to have to pay you like big wages and redundancy fees and so forth, so it's easier just to let you go. You also have to deal and put up with long commuting hours. I've had to do that recently myself with a job and so forth. Depending on your position it varies, but if you're on a low level position, it's very very hard for you to actually grow, and again little to no time outside of work to do things you want to do. Depending on the job that you're in, some cases you might actually have a little bit of time, but in a lot of other cases, if you're having to do a lot of travelling to work, like if you're doing 3 and 4 hour trips, you're not going to have any time at all. Also, you have to put up with working in hostile or dangerous environments. And what do I mean by that? You could be working in environments with other people where there's a lot of bullying and harassment, which happens all the time in the workplaces. People don't like to see someone else actually getting somewhere, or even if you don't mingle with people, there's a lot of different reasons behind it. People could just take a disliking to you straight away from day one. You don't even have to give a reason or have a reason why, it just happens. Also, the environment you could be in could be potentially very very dangerous, that could be harmful or even fatal to you or even people around you. And you really have to ask yourself the question, is this something, or is this the type of environment that you want to be in? I know personally that's something I definitely don't want to be in, and I'm definitely trying to get away from that. But on the plus side, with the pros, it also makes you feel safe. You don't have to take on the responsibility to make decisions, so that way then you don't have to worry about anything coming back to you or making a mistake. You can let others make the choices for you. So obviously your supervisors or managers, they will make the choices and actually just tell you what to do. You will actually have a guaranteed wage at the end of the week. Some people just like that, having that security. There may be some room for growth, but it only depends on your position. If you're already in a high enough position, like say if you're a supervisor or a manager, there is a potential where in some cases, in some companies, where you may be able to actually move up the ladder, but it doesn't happen all the time, because the chances are, if you go in for a position, if there's a job available, the chances are they already have someone picked for the job, and it's always kind of like part of the crowd. It's always about who you know, so they nearly always have the position filled before you've even had a look in. So it goes back to not really having much chance to really grow. So you have to think about it from these here. Even with the pros, there still are cons with a 9-to-5 job, because you don't really get anywhere. You don't actually see any benefits. Yes, you have the security of knowing you have a weekly wage as long as you actually have a job and you just go in and just do what you're told, but you're not really gaining getting anything out of it. Your life is not your own. Your time is not your own. You're not in control of what you want. And for me, that's a very big issue. I get it that people have had to do that for years before all this online thing became even possible. I understand that and I do respect that. But we are living in a current climate where everybody has the ability to do something for themselves, but people are still reluctant to do so. And if you're reluctant, you're never going to grow or succeed at anything unless you're willing to take action. So the pros and cons for online business. So the cons, you can feel overwhelmed for beginners. It can be very overwhelming. That I will admit, because I will admit I went through these hurdles as well. You're not really sure at first what to do. If you're only starting out and you're not really sure of where to get started, it can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, trying to figure out what to do. It can be extremely stressful if you don't see results, which it can if you're creating videos on YouTube channels or you're creating blog posts and you're wondering why you're not getting any engagement. It's no fault of your own, you're doing the work, but sometimes it just takes a while for it to actually start to take any sort of shape. But you need to be patient. You actually have to think for yourself and actually make the decisions, compared to working a 9-to-5 job where that privilege is taken away from you, and that's something that you're not comfortable with because you realise that you have to take on that responsibility. Again, this leads on to you don't feel safe or have the security of a day job, because with a day job you're told what to do. You know you're guaranteed a wage at the end of the week regardless of the work you put in. But with this here, there is always that kind of insecurity basically of being not sure of what could actually potentially happen. You do need to work for a long time to see any results. That is true. There's no guarantees that you're going to see results overnight. The main misconception with a lot of us online is when we come on, there's so much noise. There's always a load of people out there, and like I mentioned, like shady people always promising you that you will get results if you buy into this program or you do this or you do that you will start to receive results in minutes. And what actually ends up happening, you're out of pocket because you bought into something that's not trustworthy, and they only use that as a means just to get your money, and then they run a mile. You'll never see or hear from them again, and you'll never get your money back. It happens all the time. But if you find a proven and trusted training platform and actually find someone that you know is trustworthy, follow them and they will teach you what you want to do. Also, patience is a very big thing with online business. The chances are you will actually quit before you actually see any results. I've seen this a lot. I'll be honest, when I first started out, there were times when I wanted to quit because I didn't see results. But then when I did start seeing, it was like, you know what, this is actually good. So I was like, why don't I just stick at this and see where I go? And it's amazing when you actually do stick at it. It's amazing the results that actually happen. Again, it's different for everybody. Some people will see results a little bit faster than others, but just know that it is going to take time. So for the pros, you have the potential for growth and expansion, and it's limitless. There's no limit on how far you can actually go or take it, as long as you're willing to keep working at it. You have way more potential there, and way more than you ever could in your 9-to-5 job, because on your 9-to-5 job you have a set wage every week, a yearly income. Depending on your job specs or your experience, you may get anywhere between 15, 20, 25, 30,000 up to 50,000 a year, sometimes a little bit more, but that's it. You won't get any more. Whereas with the online space, if you build it up over time, you have the potential to make thousands, if not millions. The people that do it every day, the sky's the limit pretty much. There really is no limit on how much you can earn if you do the stuff the right way. You also have control over your decisions and your choices. If you really are adamant that you want to make those tough choices and you know that you are capable of doing so, you will have that control. Plus, you'll also have less stress when you actually start seeing results. You'll actually feel a lot better. You will have more time. You will be in control of pretty much everything. You choose what you want to work on, plus you get to work on what you actually enjoy. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, you can create something on social media or use YouTube or create a blog, whatever your passion, whatever avenue you want to take, whether that's video, whether that's writing, whether that's photographs, like I mentioned, like Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you can make a business out of that. People do it all the time and they make crazy money out of it. As long as you do it the right way and it's engaging and it's useful to people and they like it, you can potentially build a very big lucrative business with it. You will be a lot happier, that I can almost guarantee, when you do start seeing results. I know it's stressful at the start, like I mentioned, but when you start to see results and you actually start to see potential in it, you will be 10 times happier than you ever would be if you're working a 9-to-5 job. Plus, you also have the potential to actually not only change your life, but of those around you and potentially people online that are looking for your help, because you have knowledge that they need help on, you can provide to people. They are looking for questions that you know you can provide answers to, and if you can do that, you'll have a following for life. But again, it's totally up to you. There are a lot of people out there, like I mentioned, that actually have that 9-to-5 mindset and they're not willing to budge or change their outlook and things. They have in their own mind the world works in a certain way, and they believe, and they're stubborn, they believe that the world works in that way, which it doesn't. For those of you that actually are willing to see past that and actually think clearly and actually look at things from a different perspective and with an open mind, you will see that there really is, the sky's the limit. but as long as you're willing to put in the work. The only thing is, is with an online business you do have to put in the work. I do mention that a lot throughout the videos on my channel. You can actually check them out, and I do mention that an awful lot. Even with a lot of the more legit training programs that I'll show you, you will see for yourself that a lot of them all explain the same thing, that the results aren't instant, that as long as you do put the work in, you will see the results, but it's going to take time. But it's totally up to you. Again, this is a choice that you will have to make if you are serious with wanting to actually change your life. But I'm just outlining pretty much the facts here of what is there, pretty much in black and white, but it is up to you to decide. But essentially it is your choice, and you have to make that decision as to what you actually want moving forward with your life. Do you want to stay in the 9 to 5 lifestyle? For some people that's all they want, and that's perfectly fine. Or do you want to take the leap and actually try and move forward with your life and take your life to another level and create something that's unique and that could actually potentially help change the world, and that could actually change your life as well? You do have that choice. Whatever you do decide, it's totally up to you. But just know that if you decide to stay in the 9 to 5 grind and the day job, you will be struggling and you will have limited resources and money over time, and you'll have to work for longer periods in order to see any sort of money or income. Whereas with an online business, yes, it takes a lot of upfront work, hard work and investment. There's no one push button software out there that will actually guarantee you instant success. It doesn't exist. It will take a lot of work, but when the results start to show, believe me, they start to show. People need to start opening their eyes to see what's actually possible, because a lot of us are very reluctant to actually even entertain the idea that it's even possible to even be a success online. Truth is, any of us can do it. You can do it, I can do it, anybody can do it. We just have to want it. And if you truly want something, there's absolutely no reason why you can't have it, but you've got to put in the work to get it. And I can show you these processes. If you watch the videos on my YouTube channel, I show plenty of tutorials and guides showing you avenues of how to generate an income online, how to pretty much change your life and to move forward. Plus, down in the description I will leave links to all the training programs that I mentioned and courses and so forth, and you can actually have a look at them and actually see if they're actually which one is going to be a best fit for you. They're all very, very good. Some are free, some cost money, but it all depends on your preference. It all depends on what you're looking to achieve, what you want to get out of it, and whether or not it's a good fit for you. But you have that choice. But again, I'll leave the links down in the description so that you can go and check them out and see for yourself. So if you have found this video to be helpful, make sure to leave a like. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video, as I will be creating a lot more helpful guides videos and tips videos like this that will actually teach you ways of how you can potentially earn an income online, and just general ways of how you can start making money and potentially work for yourself and see results in time. And as always, I will see you in the next one.